The first is this. Hong Kong will continue to be a free society. Hong Kong will continue to have a freedom under the rule of law. Hong Kong will continue to have growing accountability. Hong Kong will continue to have a pretty clean public service, so long as people in Hong Kong want that. I think there is, in Hong Kong's DNA, an understanding about the relationship between politics and economics. You don't have to be a Marxist to think that economic developments have political consequences. I think people understand that there is a real relationship between the rule of law, which makes commercial life so successful, and the rule of law, which makes it possible to be a citizen and to exercise the freedoms associated with citizenship. Because one of the things which I think is very special about Hong Kong is that it's a Chinese city, but it's a Chinese city with a great sense of what it means to be here in Hong Kong. There's a real sense of Hong Kong citizenship when you ask people about their identity. That doesn't make them less Chinese. It doesn't make me less British, that I have Irish ancestry, that I'm a Catholic, that I'm a Londoner, that I'm a supporter of, God help me, of Arsenal Football Club. None of that makes me, none of that, thank you very much, Arsene Wenger in the audience there. None of that makes me any less patriotic. But my values as a human being, the things I believe in for myself and for my family and for my grandchildren, they're all part of my being. They're all part of what makes me support the sort of society that we're in. They're part of the reason why I'll go back from here and be arguing about Britain's relationship with Europe until I'm blue in the face. So, citizenship is about the things you believe in. And it doesn't mean that you're less patriotic, because they may be different from the things that a mainland official perhaps believes in. The second thing which I think is important if one country, two systems is to survive, and it's extremely important, is that I think it would be a good idea for some Chinese officials not just to talk about the rule of law, but not just to talk about the Hong Kong system, but to actually try to understand it more. Hong Kong two systems doesn't mean Hong Kong 1.7 systems, or, if not rounded up, 1.4 systems and rounded down. It means what it says. And if it's to survive, it's very important that people should understand what the Hong Kong system is. It is about fairness and decency and dialogue, and to use a French expression, solidarity, to use a British expression, clubbability. It's about the things which knit a society together, a society in which people by and large believe the same things. And when they argue, that they're able to argue without having a quarrel. One thing which has depressed me a bit, I have to admit it, coming to Hong Kong this week, timing wasn't exactly perfect. One thing that's disturbed me is the extent to which people are shouting rather than talking. And I just don't think that's very helpful. When I was last here, I made clear my views about democracy and independence. I said I thought it was a bad idea if the argument for democracy slid into an argument in favour of independence, which isn't going to happen, which is provocative to people on the mainland, and which dilutes support for the democratic cause.